Okay guys, today I'm back and we're going to talk about a rule of thumb that I heard from four-time Mr. Olympia, CUTLER. And this is a segment to this little series I'm doing on arms. This is the second one. First one was hammer curls and what I learned from Mr. Olympia, Phil Heath, 7-time, how he does his. So this is another little trick that I go by, and I call it a rule of thumb because it's something that I heard from CUTLER, and it has changed the shape of my arms and how my arms were. So before, when I was just starting off, I always used to start my arm workouts with biceps, and there's nothing wrong with that, but you're sort of missing out on the benefits of starting triceps first. So if you look here, don't laugh at this drawing, but this is the best I could do. I'm not too good at drawing. So if you look at an arm that's actually somewhat developed, you'll see that the bicep is only 40%, okay? 40% is bicep. The most of the arm, the bigger part of the arm is the tricep, which is literally 60% of the bicep. I mean, of the whole arm. So therefore, what I do and what I recommend you guys should do too is start your arm workouts with triceps. Why? For example, first tricep exercise that I would do would be a single hand tricep extension without any attachments. So usually there's a ball and the hook. So you want to grab that ball and you want to do your first set. But the reason why you want to start those is because you want to give your tricep in the beginning its own, basically its own side. So basically what I'm trying to say is each arm should be done on its own, because sometimes when you do two at a time, it's sort of one helps the other sometimes, but when you're starting off your tricep exercises, you should always start with single arm, because that way that arm gets exactly that amount of reps and the amount of effort, and it's just from that one arm. One arm ain't compensating for the other. So this is why you always start at least 2 exercises for your triceps with single arm. So what I would do first is start single arm or single hand tricep extensions. I would do for 4 sets of that. And then after that, I would grab a handle and I would do reverse single arm triceps. So you sort of just, reverse it, and basically instead of grabbing it like this, now you're grabbing it under, so it's working another part. Then after that, I would do 4 sets of that also. After that, I would do seated French press. And basically the reason for that is when it comes to building triceps, the meat of the tricep is this part, the long head, and that's the part that you're trying to build the most, because this part here, this little finger thing that looks like a finger, that's easy to build. The meat, like this part of it, is hardest to build. So, and the way you build it is by basically anything overhead. So anything overhead like this. So basically what it is when you're staying like that, go over there. When you go, and basically you need to stretch this part out here. And the only way you can stretch it out, or the best way to stretch it out, is doing behind the head skull crusher or behind the head French press. So you could do these standing, but if you're seated, it's better because you have no body to help you. You're sort of seated, you go to the cables, you put the pulley way down. Then when you go get it, you pick it up from the bottom, you put it over your head, and then you sit down with it. Now your arms are going to be pulled back so much that even just by staying there, this long head here is going to be stretched out. So as soon as you start pushing and repping out, you will soon fill that area with blood. So for me, even when I do my single arm tricep extensions, I don't do them here. I bring my arm and almost put it to the side, and I do it here. So what that hits more is the back area, this area. So I'm not trying to hit this area, I'm trying to hit this area. So instead of, some people will do it here, I take my arm and I put it against my lat here so it doesn't move, so it's locked in. And I also, what I do, I give it a slight lean. So I'm leaned over on it. I put this hand right here, so it's not just flailing around. I put it here, I take it, and I lean over and I start extending. Extend. And what that does, when you're leaning over, it puts more emphasis on the tricep. Instead of just standing like this and doing it like this, you're leaning over, one foot is in front of the other slightly, and then you put this hand on your chest and you're just pressing down. Pressing down, pressing down, pressing down. So what you could do is do one at a time, two exercises, one arm at a time. Then after that, you want to do your French press, and that's going to stretch this whole area. Then for mass, you want to do a close grip bench. So what does that mean? So this doesn't mean close grip where you're benching like this. Close grip means where it's sort of like this, not shoulder width apart, not shoulder, but in. So basically, probably something like this. You don't want to be doing that like this, because what's going to happen is your wrists are going to be affected on it, and you have nerves here, and sometimes you could ruin your nerve and you could hurt yourself by having it too close together. So the best scenario for that is to have it slightly apart, just like that. And you want to do at least sets of 12. And on that, you want to go a little bit heavier because you've already done the cable, so you're warmed up, you have some blood in there. So I would suggest doing something in terms of, 10 to 12 reps, 3 to 4 sets. So just for triceps, you want to do at least 16 sets. 16 sets, and basically the amount of reps varies. I'm going to make another video about that in a little bit here. But basically, that's how you want to approach your triceps. Basically, what it is when you're doing a single hand pull down or single hand extension, while you're bringing the cable down, as you go up, you get indirect blood into your bicep. So before you go onto your bicep, your bicep is going to have so much blood in there indirectly from doing triceps. And if you start your biceps first, you're sort of missing out on that. So with that being said, you don't have to do too many biceps after. 2-3 exercises of 3 sets is more than enough, because as you're pushing down from the different tricep extensions, as the cable comes up and the negative starts to happen, obviously you're fighting it. You're not going to just let it pop up. So you're fighting it. There's a drag, and the drag, what happens is it's putting an indirect pump into your bicep. So when you're done your triceps, you will have so much indirect blood there from doing your triceps that you don't have to do too many bicep workouts, and that's obviously good. So I hope this helped you guys, and I will also make another video on reps and sets. Okay, that's coming right after this, and this will help you guys get that pump you guys want. You guys will actually be surprised on how many sets and how many reps you should be doing. With that being said, guys, I'm going to take off. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll be back on the next one. Look out for my video. Have a good day. See you guys in the next one.